Listen, I fully understand what I'm about to say about resistance might not resonate with all of you. It took me a really long time to let this sink in, that resistance and any kind of blocks that I perceive to have between me and my desired manifestations are completely illusions, and not everyone's ready, willing, and able to hear this. But for those of you who are open-minded enough to give this mental reframe a try, I know it's going to help you as much as it has helped me. Hello, my loves, it's Gigi, and welcome back to my channel. We talk all about mindset, spirituality, and the law of assumption. We are the Journey Fam, and we're all about living our best lives through using conscious manifestation to our advantage. And you know what, guys? Choosing to consciously manifest your life, that is something that is very normal and natural and part of our divine birthright. It's a lifestyle. It is not just something you do on the weekends, or it's not just a community online or a cult. Some people are literally calling the manifestation community a cult. And I'm like, guys, you're missing the point. This is just being aware of how you're thinking, how you're behaving, how you're interacting, so that you can optimize your existence. Anyways, I am going to stop myself in my tracks before I start ranting. If you want to work together, I do offer one-on-one coaching, and you can reach out to me. My information is in the description below. But let's get right into today's topic. Why you can dissolve absolutely anything that you perceive is holding you back by just deciding that it's not a factor, it's not a variable, it's not an issue, and subsequently removing your attention from it. And no, I do not mean ignoring and bypassing. I mean investing your intention in something much more valuable and exciting and future-oriented, something that you are looking forward to, instead of feeling like you need to continue looking at and talking about and dwelling on and trying to problem solve constantly what you don't like. You can problem solve from a state of consciousness that is limitless and expansive and curious and solution oriented. You don't have to problem solve by staring at the problem and then trying to think of every single thing that could go wrong in every contingency plan. I know a lot of people who operate that way, and yeah, it works, but it burns them out and it stresses them out and it makes them miserable day in and day out. And no one wants to live that way. There are two very different approaches to living life and navigating the many obstacles in this beautiful earth school that we are all dwelling in. And yes, that is my personal spiritual belief, that we as souls have incarnated in these human bodies for a reason, to help contribute our unique, authentic, energetic signature to this planet, to help elevate the planet, to help make it a better place, to learn more about ourselves in ways that we never have before as souls. And personally, I think that's a huge puzzle piece in manifestation. It's a cheat code to be able to say, all of this is just one big, elaborate, beautiful game, and I'm here to learn lessons, and any obstacle that I see, any resistance I face is just molding me into an even better, more expansive version of myself. Yeah, that is a really, really helpful reframe. You'll never have a bad day again. Of course, there are tragedies, there are horrible things that can unfold, and you are allowed to process the trauma and the emotions that come with that. But eventually, time does heal. Then we realize that there were lessons to glean, there was wisdom to be gained from those experiences, and we can tap into that wise version of ourselves in the present moment if we choose to. It's a decision away, guys. Our peace of mind as humans is always one decision away. And this is why the wisest individuals and teachers throughout history have always said that happiness is a state. It is not a destination. It is a state that we always have access to. It's also an inside job. It always comes from within. And this goes back to the Hermetic principle, as within, so without. You have to be the one to hold yourself in that state that you want to experience, so that it can be pushed out, so that it can be expressed. There is a resistance-free version of yourself waiting to be expressed. Anytime you are facing the most inconvenient, annoying, or disheartening block that is staring you right in the face in your 3D, You can say to yourself, I'm actually the version of myself that doesn't experience resistance and doesn't experience blocks. So this has no choice but to resolve itself very quickly. You can just tell yourself that instead of reacting and responding in a way that is unfavorable. And you just watch. This doesn't fail, guys. It's just about how often you're returning to the decision to be who you want to be. It's a state of consciousness. And it might take a little bit for the 3D to catch up, but it also might not. It might be instant. I've said this before. The number of times that you return to this decision and affirm and persist, the more it's ingrained in your psyche and you can actually live the life you want to live. If you're wavering all the time, if you aren't consistent enough in making the decisions that serve you and living from the state that you actually want to live in, then of course your reality is going to reflect the chaos that is within. This is why you could buy 10 billion courses and listen to 8,000 podcasts and still not have any answers, because none of those things allowed you to properly reflect on what's going on inside of you, your feeling state, your perception of the world. So I want you to think about states of consciousness like glasses. You have an infinite number of glasses to choose from, and depending on the glasses that you put on that day, you're going to see the world differently. You're going to experience a different version of yourself. And inevitably, that different version of yourself is going to show up in the world a different way that includes different interactions, different outcomes, a different existence altogether. So going back to the glasses analogy, you actually have an unlimited number of options of glasses that you could pick to wear, of versions of yourself that you could embody. But out of habit, you are just picking the same pair of glasses off the shelf every single day because it's familiar and they feel comfortable on your face, and it feels like too much work to have to try on a different pair of glasses. But really, the old pair of glasses is actually distorting your view of reality and making your life not enjoyable. Instead of reaching for that pair of glasses off the shelf, I want you to choose a new pair of glasses. And the decision can happen in an instant, that you choose to not be the old version of yourself anymore. And you're going to continue to choose the new pair of glasses that might feel a little bit unfamiliar on your face at first, but allow you to see the world in such a crystal clear, limitless way that you don't want to take them off. And yet they do fall off sometimes. And a lot of times we will choose glasses that are similar to what we want, but not quite there. And this is where partial manifestations come from, in my opinion. And it's not a big deal. Maybe it's making it easier for us to get accustomed to something that's similar to exactly what we want. It's training us to live and experience a new way of living. But if it's not exactly what we want, we can still take off those glasses and put on the real glasses that are really giving us the true fulfillment of our desires. You don't have to settle for a pair of glasses, a perception, a way of living, a state of being that is close but not quite there. You can have the full package. You can have everything you've ever wanted. And you don't need to experience resistance. And when I say resistance, I do not mean contrast. This is a very important distinction. We live in a world that has polar opposites. There is duality in this world. And happiness and sadness, love and fear, they're on the same spectrum, but they're opposite sides of that same spectrum. So I'm not saying that you can't experience the full spectrum. I'm saying that you don't need to resist your current moment. You can accept it while realizing that your dominant state of being is still within your control. You don't need to be resisting and suffering through everything you're going through. That is a choice. Maybe I should make a video about that, because I don't want to affirm this, but I have a feeling that could be misinterpreted. I do not want to be misunderstood. I know this is a lot to digest and it might not seem practical to implement, but let me know what you guys think about this, because I've been playing around with this on a hour by hour basis. I have been reflecting on, who am I being right now? What state of consciousness am I embodying? Am I being the version of myself that would be living her best life? And am I looking through the pair of glasses that is allowing me to see possibilities and solutions and opportunities that another version of myself would have right in front of her nose and not notice. I ask myself these questions very frequently, and it's been producing amazing results and just an overall state of calm. Above all else, I'm just happier overall, and things that used to shake me to my core or rattle me don't faze me at all anymore. And that, I think, is the biggest blessing over any material thing I've ever gotten in my life. My information is in the description below if you want to book some time with me to talk about your specific circumstances and how we can blast through those and shift your consciousness and give you some perspective, some practices that can help you maintain the ideal state that will help you live your best life. That's what I'm all about. And you really don't need coaching. Obviously, it's just there as an extra option, a support for you. But I love you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm so excited to continue making content, and I'll see you soon. Bye.